From Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School, we are ready for high school baseball action where the 1 and 2 Riverdale Raiders will play their 2016 home opener as they take on the 0 and 2 Vikings of Bishop Verot High School. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for tonight's contest. This is Nick Rush giving you the play-by-play of this upcoming contest as we are just moments away from your first pitch. Right now on the mound for the Raiders, it's Carson Palmquist throwing the last of his warm-ups on the mound for the Raiders. He is dressed in the Raiders' home garnet red uniforms. White numbers on the back, white script Raiders across the chest, white pants, and white hats with the garnet script R on the center for Riverdale. Meanwhile, the Bishop Verot Vikings are sporting their very unique camo, black and bright yellow uniforms. They are wearing white pants with a black stripe running down the sides and hats with black on the front and yellow on the back. Black script, BV on the center for Bishop Verot. Once again, very unique uniforms. Very unusual to look at. But here they are, and we are ready to go for some Tuesday night baseball, live from Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida.
Leading off top of the first inning for the Bishop Verot Vikings, center fielder number 2, Trevor Kramer.
Trevor Kramer steps into the batter's box and to the left side. Kramer today playing the center field position, chops the first pitch foul, and we are underway with a first pitch start time of 7:04 p.m. So we are on time and ready to go once again from Pringle Field and just underway between the Riverdale Raiders and the Vikings of Bishop Verot High School. The 0-1 is going to miss low to tie up the count. Starting pitcher on the mound once again for the Raiders, it's Carson Palmquist for his first start of the regular season. Keep in mind, I'll reword myself there, it's his first start of the regular season at home here at Pringle Field, but he did see a game of action back in the preseason here at Pringle Field against the Cape Coral Seahawks, back where the Raiders won 7-3. This is a bouncer over to the shortstop where it's going to be bobbled. That's an error over on the shortstop as Trevor Kramer digs on to first base.
Batting next for the Vikings, shortstop number 21, Blaze Alexander.
Blaze Alexander, the shortstop, now comes up with one man on and no men out here at the top of the first. Just underway in tonight's ball game. It's 0-0 here at the top of the first between the Raiders and Bishop Verot. Thanks for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for tonight's game. This is Nick Rush giving you the play-by-play action once more. This is going to be caught out at center field. You had two men going for it, and that's your first out of this ball game. It's caught by the shortstop on the play, which is going to be number 15, Daniel Kaler.
Next batter for Bishop Verot, catcher number 5, Mike Ritchie.
So nice way for Daniel Kaler to get back into it after bobbling that bouncer over to the shortstop by Trevor Kramer. Makes the catch out at shallow center. And up comes Michael Ritchie, who watches the first one go by for a strike. So Kramer, Alexander, and Ritchie will be your three men due up. Cleaning up is Pedigorski. Batting fifth, it's Devin White. And that's Nico Pedigorski, by the way, over at fourth. Number 5, once again, Devin White. 6 is Ivan Cotto. Number 7, it's going to be Carson Smith batting. And the 8th spot is Mike Lemmerman, Gunnar Bird, and Drew Dwyer. Another strike is going to come home. Now 0-2 for Michael Ritchie. So just underway once again. 0-0 is your score here at the top of the first between Riverdale and BV. The 1 and 2 Riverdale Raiders hope to shake off a rough series of games from last week as they take on the 0 and 2 Bishop Verot Vikings. Here's a check over the first base from Palmquist. Over to Colin Azevedo, who's guarding the first base bag, and that runner, Blaze Alexander, is going to be back in time. He's going to steal second, and he's out. Nice timely throw from the catcher, Tyler Prell, over to the second base bag. And that time, Brendan McNabb was able to come up with the out. That's out number 2 here at the top of the first. Up next is going to be number 5 here, as this is... let's see. So Michael Ritchie's going to step back in. Got a little mixed up there, excuse me for that, as this is going to be batted back behind home plate for a foul ball. So once again, Michael Ritchie starting things up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here at the top of the first, scoreless from Pringle Field. This is going to be sparked forward out to deep right center field, diving, and that ball is going to make its way all the way out to the wall. Out there at center field, it was Matt Hardy who couldn't make the dive, and this is going to result in a triple for number 5, Michael Ritchie. And now, up next, it's Nico Pedagorski. And Coach Pringle's going to come out onto home plate. Looks like a little bit of an infield meeting here. And it looks like Pringle wasn't too happy there with that given up triple. He also wanted to go over something there with your pitcher Carson Palmquist. Palmquist and Prell right now are on the mound going over something with Coach Bob Pringle, the manager for the Riverdale Raiders varsity team. Someone may have possibly mixed up a sign. We have came up with our great public address announcer.
We know what the signs are, right, guys? This means this means this. 'Cause that wasn't what you were supposed to throw.
So it looks like a little bit of a miscommunication there with your signs.
Pitcher number 23,
Nico Pedagorski is going to be up next, cleaning up here at the top of the first. He's going to be the pitcher in today's ball game. The starter for Bishop Verot looks in, chops the first one high towards first base, and that's going to be gloved up for your out as we retire the sides here at the top of the first. That's going to be your first baseman, Colin Azevedo, coming up with the catch. As we head to the home half of the first, it's 0-0 between the Riverdale Raiders and Bishop Verot.
Hardy!
We head into your home half of the first, live from Pringle Field at Riverdale High School, where your score is 0-0 between the Riverdale Raiders and the Bishop Verot Vikings. Matt Hardy is going to be at the top of the batting order. He'll start things off with a ball 1. Starting pitcher for Bishop Verot is Nico Pedagorski, wearing number 23. We'll tell you about the Raiders' batting order in just a brief moment. 0-1 is high and dry. Now 1-1. 3 men due up for the Raiders. It's going to be Matt Hardy, the center fielder, shortstop Daniel Kaler, and third baseman Hunter Tinsley. Colton Seitz is going to clean up fourth as the right fielder. Swing and a miss there by Hardy makes the count 1-2. Batting fifth is the catcher Tyler Prell. Batting in the number 6 spot, left fielder Matisse Bober. The pitcher Carson Palmquist is 7th. Number 8 spot, it's Colin Azevedo playing the first base today. And last, it's going to be number 6 and the second baseman Brendan McNabb, who is called up from the Riverdale JV team. Right now, it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Matt Hardy. No outs at the bottom of the first as we are still in a scoreless tie. A lot of noise being made by the Riverdale dugout as this is going to be bolted down third base for a foul ball. Matt Hardy showing some nice speed there He ran all the way to first base before he realized that ball was foul, so he'll chug his way back home. Thank you for those just tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network. This is Nick Rush, live from the press box, along with our great public address announcer, playing some great tunes throughout the course of tonight's game. 2-2. Charged over the third, going over the glove of the diving third baseman. Hardy, he's going to take a nice long turn over the first, but he will go back. Lead off base hit for Matt Hardy down the left field line. That will bring up Daniel Kaler.
Shortstop number 15, Daniel Kaler.
Daniel Kaler playing the shortstop position today. And he sure does bring a lot of talent here to the Raider baseball team. Currently in his first full season with the Raiders. He played in a pair of varsity games last season as he was called up from the JV team. He's now signaling for the bunt. With that runner Matt Hardy over on first. And this was a bluff throw over the first by Pedagorski, the pitcher on the mound. Kaler's still showing the bunt. And he can't lay it down. That's a ball one. It looks like Pedagorski, he's throwing out of his hat there. His hat nearly comes off after every single pitch. Yeah, there it goes again. Very interesting, showing a lot of force here as he throws the pitches off of his right hand. Another one off to the edges makes it 2-0 for Daniel Kaler. Matt Hardy on first and no outs at the bottom of the first. Neither team on the board just yet. Kaler still attempting the bunt. And here's another one that's going to be foul down third. 2-1. Whoa. Riverdale played 3 matchups on opening week last week at Terry Park as a part of the Early Bird Classic where they started rough, falling to the Island Coast Gators 7-3. This one is up to make it 3-1. And the North Fort Myers Red Knights also defeated the Raiders last week by a tight 2-1 outcome. And the Raiders finished strong, blowing out the Oasis Sharks by a 23-3 final score in a game that ended short in 5 innings due to the mercy rule, 23-3. 3-1 is going to barely squeeze its way inside now for a full count. We'll tell you more about that game against Oasis after this payoff pitch. It's going to be tapped down third, foul again. RHS came into the 5th inning with a 12-3 advantage and exploded with 11 runs to capture the win. Riverdale connected with 22 hits in that ball game. Meanwhile, Bishop Verot comes into Pringle Field today winless. They were defeated last week 5-3 by Barron Collier Cougars and the Venice Indians by a final score of 9-1. Here's another foul ball off of another payoff pitch. We'll have a third one in just moments. Nice weather for tonight's ball game. Very tough weather. Nice rainstorm came in the early hours this morning. This is going to third. Going across to first. He is safe. Throw to third. He is going to be out. Oh my goodness. Matt Hardy is going to be tagged out over at third base. It was a ground ball over the third. Throw across the first base. Did not beat out Daniel Kaler. Matt Hardy was trying to extend the third meanwhile, but that throw is going to beat him. And now the Raiders are left with a man on first. And this is Hunter Tinsley. Tinsley stands in as a right-handed hitter. He'll take a ball one to begin things. Now with one man on first and one out. 0-0 is the score between Riverdale and visiting Bishop Verot from Riverdale High School, the 1-0. Sneaks in to tie up the count. It is 68 degrees. Wind blowing north at 3 miles per hour. The humidity is at 81%. There is a 0% chance of precipitation. Your overall forecast is mostly clear. This is going to fly its way out. Looks like it went off the safety netting down the right field line. And the ball is going to stay inside the playing field. Nearly went out as a souvenir to one of the lucky fans, but this one's going to be kept into play. Now 1-2 for Tinsley. His fellow teammates like to call him Tins as a nickname. The Deal, the Tins. That's another one out of play down right field. Well, like I mentioned just a few moments ago, in the early hours this morning, plenty of strong rainstorms made its way through southwest Florida. But it's very nice to see that cleared up ever since the sun rose this morning, and ever since then it was a nice cool day. Up in the corners for a ball. 2-2 to Tinsley, and what has been a very lengthy bottom half of the first. Daniel Kaler, a very speedy base runner, is on first, and there he goes, taking off. Meanwhile, Tinsley is going to hack the next pitch back to the backstop. And Kaler is going to have to take back to first. Had some very nice speed there as he attempted to take over the second base, but it would not go there as Tinsley could not put the ball into play. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hunter. Hunter Tinsley playing on the third base bag today as a part of the Riverdale Raider defense. The wind-up home, it's wide, now a full count. The Bishop Verot catcher there, Michael Ritchie, had to slide off to his right side in order to keep that from being a passed ball. Tinsley, can he get something going here off the payoff? It's charged high up in the fly ball, right side of the infield towards second base, and it's caught for the out, number 1. It was easily tracked down by the second baseman there on to play, Gunnar Bird. And up next, it's Colton Seitz for the Raiders.
Right fielder, number 10, Colton Seitz.
Seitz in the right field today for the Raider defense. So, just like that, we have the scoreboard updated. That makes it 2 outs. Okay, so a correction there. It's alright. A little bit of an error here, but it's all good. Error. There we go. Error. Yeah. Error. This is over the second. Daniel Kaler tried to steal, and he pays the price as he's tagged out. That retires his sides. So we apologize for that out update. And we head to your second inning where we are still scoreless. Devin White will start off the bats for the Bishop Verot Vikings as we head to the top of the second. It is 0-0 between the Raiders and Bishop Verot. This is going to be chopped back. Foul, 0-1. So welcome back to the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. It's been a pretty interesting night thus far. Raiders, they showed some productivity on the bats, but could not spark anything home after Daniel Kaler was tagged out. Swing and a miss to make it now 0-2 as Carson Palmquist is on the mound for his second inning of play as the starting pitcher, releasing off of his left hand, winds up, and his delivery is up and out, 1-2. Well, as many of you have noticed, Tyler Yeager is not in the batting order for tonight's contest. 1-2 outside to even up the count. This is due to a hamstring injury that he suffered while competing in last Monday's contest against the Island Coast Gators at Terry Park during the early bird tournament. This other pitch will miss to make it a full count now to White. As a result of the injury, Yeager will be sidelined for 2 to 4 weeks. Definitely is going to be a little different for the team to adjust without him. Very strong player, as this is going to make its way outside of the ballpark for a foul ball. So with the Riverdale varsity team short a player in the batting order, they have called up Brendan McNabb from the JV group. McNabb, who is a sophomore, will be making his varsity debut for the Raiders this evening and will be playing on the infield. As a result, he will be playing at second base to be exact, as this is hit foul back towards the press box. Still a full count for this next batter, Devin White. White, a right-handed hitter. This is a strike low, and Devin White is going to get put down on strikes looking, as that one was looking very low, and it hit the end of the strike plate. Ivan Cotto is going to be up next. That's a very familiar name if you were listening in last season, as I believe he played for the Fort Myers Green Wave last season. Very familiar name. Back from our district playoff contest here at Riverdale between the Raiders and the Fort Myers Green Wave, and Cotto will take a strike one for his first at-bat. 0-1. Will be close, but it's a ball. One ball, one strike, and one out here at the top of the second. 0-0 is the score. Very tight contest thus far. This is a flyer out to center field. It's going to be leapt up and caught for the out. Matt Hardy out at center is tracking down that ball with the greatest of ease. And out goes Ivan Cotto with an F8 in the scorebooks.
Next Viking batter, left fielder number 8, Carson Smith.
Carson Smith will take his chops here. And the left hand of the batter's box. Opening pitch, hack and a miss, as that one was too early. Raiders looking a little more confident now on the infield, as it's been 2 up, 2 down thus far for them. This pitch is going to chop off the glove of Tyler Prell and head to the backstop. This next pitch will come close to the batter, but he'll dodge his way out of it. 2-1. Carson Smith leans in, has a late swing on this, pops it up towards the fan area. It's going to stay inside barely on the playing field, and it hops down harmlessly for a foul ball. Tyler Prell, the catcher, yanked off his mask and tried to track it down in the night sky. In addition, you had 2 others going for that one. Hunter Tinsley came all the way from third base to try to assist Prell, along with Carson Palmquist, but nobody could make it happen. Even some fans were bunching together in hopes of coming up with a nice top 10 play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This will miss to keep the inning going now at a full count for Carson Smith, the 7th batter in the order. Neither team able to get on the board just yet. Raiders hoping to end the second inning just like that, and he gets it with the strikeout looking. And at the end of an inning and a half, we are still scoreless. Colton Seitz is up again at the plate as we head to the bottom half of the second. Neither team on the board just yet in this competition between the Raiders and Bishop Verot, and all of a sudden, the Raider dugout goes wild as a pitch is low. Thank you for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network once again. This is Nick Rush giving you the call of what has been a very exciting game thus far. Wild hack here by Seitz for another strike. Now 1-1. Well, the kids, they really love Colton Seitz. They really are showing their support for him as he takes a strike 2 down the middle. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that for every home game for the Riverdale Raiders varsity baseball team, you can tune in for this broadcast. And it's looking like a great start to the season for the Riverdale Raiders overall. I was very impressed with how the team lineup performed in our pair of preseason games we had just last week. The next one's to the edges, 2-2, and the following deal up is going over the third. Hurls it across the first, and it's wild. Seitz makes his way on the first base, and the fans are giving it up for Seitz. Wild pitch from third base. We'll put Seitz on board. As a result, Tyler Prell will come up with Colton over on first base.
Next batter for your Raiders, catcher number 7, Tyler Prell.
So here comes Prell, the catcher for the Riverdale Raiders, as he kicks around the dirt in the batter's box, sets up his bat, lightly twirling it around over the shoulder, takes a swing and a miss for a strike. And once again, the pitcher is throwing out of his head again, Nico Pedagorski, something we noticed previously at the home half of the first. 0-1. Check swing. They'll check, and they're saying he did not go around. Now a Prell chant is going around from the Raider teammates in the dugout, which is sitting down the first base line, down the third base side. That's where the Bishop Verot players are sitting, next to their fan section. Raiders sitting next to their fan section as well. As Prell, he's going to get some good wood behind the bat here. Anyhow, he can't put it into play. Prell steps out of the box for just a moment here, currently dealing with a 1-2 count in a scoreless game, no outs at the bottom of the second. The windup swung on and missed, and Prell is going to strike out swinging here for out number 1.
Next batter for your Raiders, left fielder number 8, Matisse Bober.
Here comes the left fielder, Matisse Bober. Quickly settles himself. Left-handed swinger who takes a ball 1. Keep in mind, you have Colton Seitz over on first base for the Raiders. 1 out to deal with. Right now, Seitz taking a moderate lead off. Nothing too big anyhow, as Pedagorski releases a ball 2.
Update from Lakewood Ranch at the half. Lakewood Ranch 26, Riverdale 21 at the half. That's our first half.
So we have some information coming from our basketball game.
Update from the boys basketball regional semifinal up in Lakewood Ranch. Your score at the half. Lakewood Ranch 26, your Raiders 21.
So you heard it from our public address announcer. Raiders varsity basketball team trailing 26-21 to Lakewood Ranch in a regional semifinal contest that is taking place in Bradenton at Lakewood Ranch High School. Varsity basketball team, that's another great group of guys that the school has really been proud of. Coached by Damon Jones and Vernon Brazil. Overall, great group of guys, and they really do deserve to be where they're at right now. If they win this contest tonight, then they will be able to host a regional final game at home at the Raider Rock Gym on a Saturday night. So let's set you back up here for Matisse Bober. Now a 3-1 count. Very interesting. Very rarely do you hear about Saturday night games for high school sports, at least in Lee County. But either way, that's the type of thing you can expect when we head to the postseason. And the Raider basketball team, they know what it takes to come out with those tight wins. Strike right down the middle to put the count up full with 1 out. At the bottom of inning number 2, 0-0 is the score. Man on first, that comes close, and it's going to head to the backstop. But either way, that is going to be a walk for Matisse Bober, now with men on second and first for the Raiders.
Now batting for your Raiders, pitcher number 14, Carson Palmquist.
The Raider pitcher, Carson Palmquist, makes his first appearance at the batter's box. With 2 men on and 1 out. His first pitch swung and missed for a strike. And pitch after pitch, you see the hurler on the mound for Bishop Verot, Nico Pedagorski. He throws out of his hat every single pitch. He throws the ball, scoops it up. Looks like he needs a little bit of a smaller hat there. He really is forceful, and there he does it again, as this is hacked and missed. Once more from Carson Palmquist. It really is interesting. I have not seen anything like that happen to pitchers last season, or any time this season during our preseason series, I should say. 0-2. Swing and a miss. And Carson Palmquist will retire off of 3 strikes. That'll be out number 2.
Next batter, first baseman, number 3, Colin Azevedo.
Colin Azevedo is now up on his way to the plate. With men on second and first, Colton Seitz on second. And Matisse Bober on first base. The wind-up and the strike to Azevedo. Azevedo crouching in the batter's box, trying to make that strike plate a little bit smaller. Meanwhile, Pedagorski is going to bluff a check throw over to second. He holds on to the ball, just twists and turns over to second to make sure that Colton Seitz is able to stay on the second base bag. The wind and release. That's offsides for another ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. In a scoreless contest. Anyhow, you have Colton Seitz on second. So if Azevedo can get something nice going with a hit to the outfield, Colton Seitz very well could be extended home to put the Raiders on top, first blood. Another pitch is outside from Pedagorski to advance the count 2 balls and 1 strikes to the advantage of Azevedo. The whip and fire hammered down first foul. Now the deuces are on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And his next pitch will determine if we carry on with your second inning or head on to the third, not to mention you have a man on second as well. So a lot of twos on the scoreboard. Raider dugout clapping together, trying to give Azevedo some power and encouragement. And another big throw over to second by Pedagorski, excuse me. Here's your wind up and the release home. He stays alive. Payoff coming in just moments here on the scoreboard. It's now on the way. Swing and a miss. And that does it for your second inning. Azevedo strikes out and strands two men on base. As we head into your third inning of play at 0-0.
For the Vikings, right fielder number 9, Mike Limmerman.
Mike Limmerman will begin things as we head into your top of the third. We are scoreless between the Riverdale Raiders and the Bishop Verot Vikings. Carson Palmquist back up on the mound for his third inning of pitching as the starter. And Lemmerman lays down the bunt foul, 0-1. Overall, it's just been a back-and-forth contest here between the Raiders and the Vikings. Not one team dominating over the other, just been equal power back and forth. Oh, that came close to the batter Lemmerman, but it will miss by inches for a ball. It's very nice to see the Raiders hanging in from Bishop Verot, especially after a very successful previous season where they made it all the way to the Class 4A state championship ball game. A strike will cruise its way through now, 1-2 to Lemmerman. Lemmerman looks in as a left-handed batter. The release home from Palmquist is a strikeout looking for out number 1. That went right down the middle, and Lemmerman just didn't have enough time to react to that pitch. A fastball right down the middle.
Next batter for the Vikings, second baseman number 3, Gunnar Bird.
Gunnar Bird will be your next batter. For the Vikings, well, Bishop Verot, they powered through their opponents last season. They wrapped up the 2015 year with a 24-7 overall record. Close pitch looks like it hit the umpire there and traveled its way to the backstop. Yeah, that ball took an odd deflection and caught the umpire in the face. And that's why they wear masks, folks. Well, the Vikings, they went deep into the postseason as they fought their way to the FHSAA Class 4A Championship, where they were outdone by the Jacksonville Trinity Christian Conquerors, as they fell by a 6-4 final at JetBlue Park, as a ball 2 will travel by. JetBlue Park, the spring training home of the Boston Red Sox, not too far away from us here in Fort Myers. Now, an early 3-0 count to Gunnar Bird. Despite the close defeat, it's very fortunate of the Vikings that they were able to play the championship contest right in their hometown of Fort Myers. We'll keep this at-bat going with a strike 1. BV had the home field advantage, but Trinity Christian was just too strong as they took the title and ended the year with a 23-9 overall record. And Gunnar Bird will take a walk over the first with a pitch down low.
Batting next for the Vikings, center fielder number 2, Trevor Kramer.
Trevor Kramer will be the batter here as we head to the top of your order. Man on first and 1 out here. 0-0 is still the score here As we are just underway for inning number 3 in this ball game, here's a check over the first base on Gunnar Bird. Bird, he's going to make his way over to second base, and this is a pass ball to the backstop. And now Bishop Verot has a man in scoring position over on second. So Trevor Kramer takes that wild pitch as a ball 1. Meanwhile, Tyler Prell, the catcher, is going to trot his way up to the mound here and have a discussion with Carson Palmquist. He showed a lot of agility here throughout the course of this ball game as a pitcher. He shows an outstanding performance on the mound, and not to mention, he's only a freshman, so just imagine he has a whole lot to work with to improve his skill over the years here at Riverdale High School. Really is a nice pickup for the Raiders team. 1-0. This bounces in the dirt to advance the count to 2-0. Very nice crowd on hand here at Riverdale High School. Riverdale's fan section is packed down the right field line. Many Bishop Verot fans coming out to support as well. This ball is spiked high up towards the backstop, and it's going to be caught up by the safety netting there. And that will be a strike 1. The top of the safety netting, there's a flat part of it, so we see it happen plenty of times, but occasionally a foul ball will get stuck up there. Definitely not unusual to see that anyhow. Roll-off fans coming out to support here. A very small amount of fans in the cheap seats, it looks like, out at center field. Bouncer up the middle. Palmquist throws the first, and it's going to go off, I thought, the base runner, but right off the glove of the first baseman there. So that's an error, and now you have Bishop Verot with men around the corners.
Next batter for the Vikings, shortstop number 21, Blaze Alexander.
Colin Azevedo was guarding first base there, and the throw just went out of control right off the glove as the throw was released by Carson Palmquist. So the bunt attempt was successful there as Trevor Kramer makes his way to first, and following up is Blaze Alexander at the home plate. Swings the bat around over his shoulder here. He'll hold it back for the ball 1. Looks like you have a good 2 or 3 fans out there at the cheap seats. Very small gathering tonight, but no matter what the amount is, we always love to see some fans out there having a good time, getting a nice view of the ball game from the outfield, just over the wall. They're taking the seats out towards right center, as another Fire Home's going to miss 2-0. (0-0), but Bishop Verot does have a go-ahead run just 90 feet away. Let's see if they can convert him. Not with this one, as it will be tapped foul down the left field line. So Blaze Alexander looks in, stands with a little bit of a crouch, and the 2-1's coming his way. Another pass ball. Can they cover the bag? Yes! Did he get him? Yes, he did. Raiders keep this one at a scoreless tie. You had that runner coming from third base attempting to score there. Was Gunnar Bird off of the pass ball. He was racing his way home, but Tyler Prell right away had enough speed in his legs to cover home plate and get that out. So Gunnar Bird is tagged, and a little bit of relief for the Raiders. Anyhow, Bishop Verot does extend that runner over to second base, which is Trevor Kramer. 3-1. It's another wild one deflecting off of Tyler Prell, and the runners make their way around, as that was a ball 4 on the play. A lot of pass balls here from Carson Palmquist. As a new batter comes up.
Next batter for Bishop Verot, catcher number 5, Mike Ritchie.
Mike Ritchie will be batting next. Now you're going to have the third baseman Hunter Tinsley go up the mound to communicate something over to Palmquist. He takes a signal from Prell, and they're ready to go as Ritchie steps in. Men around the corners once again. Still scoreless. The scoreboard now reads 2 outs. And this hits the dirt for the ball 1. So a good thing for the Raiders here. Definitely what they need is a ground out, a fly out, something easy to pick up to get themselves out of this slight jam they're in. As this ball is foul and it's heading on its way to the veranda community down the right field line. That's a line I like to use game by game. Nice little golf course out there. Anyhow, they'll have some baseballs out there probably if anyone goes golfing in the morning. Michael Ritchie. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch comes home, and it's low. That was a very close one, but the official is going to call that 2 down low.
Closer than I am, so probably his call.
Yeah, but we definitely cannot argue with it because that home plate umpire, he has a very nice view of the strike plate and all the action. He has a front row seat. 2-1, charging out the right field. Does it get down? Yes, it does. All the way to the wall, and here comes some destruction. 1 runner is going to score for Bishop Verot. 2 runners are going to score. That is a 2-run RBI to make your score 2-0. Bishop Verot. Coming home to score was Trevor Kramer, as well as number 2 on the plate, that's Trevor Kramer, as well as number 21, Blaze Alexander. Okay, so we have that all settled out, and that was Michael Ritchie with the RBI double. Looks like now they may be putting a courtesy runner in there.
Courtesy run for Ritchie, now running at second base for the Vikings, number 7, Alex Irwin.
Alex Irwin will be your new courtesy runner over on second base for Michael Ritchie. So once again, to clear up that confusion, you had Trevor Kramer and Blaze Alexander home to score for Bishop Verot to make your score 2-0 Vikings.
Next batter for the Vikings, pitcher number 23, Nico Pedagorski.
So Michael Ritchie having a clutch at bat there with the RBI double one more time, and up comes Nico Pedagorski. Here's a pass ball. Prell tries to scoop it up down the left field line, but that runner, Irwin, has already extended his way over to third without a dive. Yes, a lot of pass balls here, especially here at the top of the third. Anyhow, that ball on its way to home plate can also take some bizarre bounces off the catcher. We've seen them come off the dirt funny. We saw one hit the umpire earlier in the course of this ball game. And right now it seems like your pitcher Carson Palmquist is mainly aiming low. Here's a ball 2.
Colton went after that ball out there end of the fence. Man, it's a quagmire out there.
Here's another one to the backstop. Bishop Verot could have had the man coming home from third, but they did not want to risk it, and Irwin is going to stay. Two outs at the top of the third. Bishop Verot is put in a pair of runs from Trevor Kramer and Blaze Alexander. And the Raiders are just doing whatever they can to end the madness. Those two came in to score off of a Michael Ritchie RBI double. Swing and a miss. He put all his energy into that swing as it's now 3-1. Fans trying to rally together here to get some clapping going in the audience. Palmquist sends it home and it's fouled backwards. Now a full count here, and this is Palmquist's opportunity to just get out of this madness of an inning. It's been a very lengthy top half of the third, probably the longest half inning we've had all ball game. Right now your time at Riverdale High School is 8 o'clock. In just 4 minutes we will have reached our 1 hour marker of this ball game. Palmquist with the payoff swing and a miss, and we're out of here as we head to the bottom of the third. Striking out there was Nico Pedagorski swinging, and it's now Bishop Verot 2, Raiders nothing. As we head to the bottom of the third right after this on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network.
Baseman, number 6, Brendan McNabb.
Up comes the JV player Brendan McNabb, making his varsity debut with the Riverdale Raiders. Stands in nice and tall, and he'll begin with a ball one. Brendan McNabb being called up to JV as a result of the injury to Tyler Yeager, once again with his hamstring, which will cause him to be sidelined 2 to 4 weeks. That definitely is not a good thing for an athlete, especially when you're right at the beginning of the season. I mean, he injured his leg back in the opening game for a matter of fact of the regular season, and you have an injury just like that. So let's hope he can get better and get back in that Raider uniform. And right now McNabb is looking good watching pitches outside. 3-0. Waves the bat around, the pitch, and it hit him. It beamed him right off the right leg, and he's going to take his trot over the first. That one was way off to the sides.
Don't run it. Oh, it hit his arm.
Oh, it hit his arm, it looks like.
His leg.
Oh, his leg, okay. We were just seeing what he was targeting. He's a little shaken up by that pitch. Well, yeah, he was crouching down at first.
Oh, man, right in the lower calf.
And we weren't sure if that was the arm or the leg hit, and it was his leg.
Lower right calf.
Lower right calf is where it landed. My goodness, he's still a little shaken up, but he's trying to walk it off. Anyhow, he will stand up and stay on first.
Number 9, Matt Hardy.
So let's see if Matt Hardy can work with Brendan McNabb over on the first base bag. Very interesting way to start off your season here with the varsity team. He just took the pitch off of the 3-0 count and took his base.
That's 4 balls in a row.
This is up and outside for a ball one. That's now 5 balls in a row for this pitcher, Nico Pedagorski. It's smoked over the third base, and that's going to be an error, bouncing off the second baseman's glove, and McNabb slides feet first in the second as he is safe. Now 2 runners on for the Raiders as Hardy takes advantage of that error.
Batter, shortstop number 15, Daniel Kaler.
Up next is Kaler. He has a hot bat for this team, so if there is an opportunity for the Raiders to get back in this one, now is the time.
It goes either E4 or E6 on that because the throw was very low.
Yes, it was a very low throw from
Shortstop.
The shortstop there to the second baseman.
Come on, baby. Come
So
on.
you can really go either way on that.
Come on, baby. You gotta lay that down. Let's go.
Kaler tries to lay the bunt down, but hangs it foul. That ball jumped right behind him down third base. So no outs. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Bishop Verot. Raiders hoping to strike, and that pitch was too close to Kaler. He had to leap out of the way, and they call that a ball. And right now, Pedagorski, he is throwing very close to the Raider batters, focusing off to the sides of the strike plate. He brings it home, and they'll call it a strike as Kaler holds back once more, 1-2. So the Vikings are up by a pair, but the Raiders, their top two men due up, get on. McNabb over on second, Hardy over on first. Kaler hoping to get something going here with the bunt. Can he do it? It's made its way down third. Laid it down, very nice throw to first, and he is out. But the goal was achieved there, and that was to extend those two base runners. McNabb now over to third, and Hardy to second. Third baseman was able to scoop it up off the bouncer and send it to first.
Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley will be your next batter. Very experienced on the varsity ball club, and the Raiders, with a nice hit to the outfield, they can keep this tied up. That flies by Tinsley for a ball. The next one. Oh, that's way outside to the backstop. Wild pitch sends a man home, and Brendan McNabb scores from third. Hardy trots his way to third, and the Raiders split the lead in half. It's 2-1 Vikings off of a wild pitch. And that time, Nico Pedagorski just absolutely lost control of that ball. No managers are coming out to talk for Bishop Verot, so a little bit of communication on the Bishop Verot infield. That was just an absolutely crazy pitch. He whipped it off to the side. Yes, our public address announcer, he had Jeopardy ready in case if there was an infield meeting with the coach. Hopefully we can use that for another time later on in this ball game. Bottom of the third, 2-1. Raiders gang on the board, but they trail by 1 point to Bishop Verot. The tying runner is over on third. That's Matt Hardy. And Tinsley begins 2-1 on the count. Not to mention 1 out, so they can tie this up even if Tinsley can't land it on the ground. It'll be whacked foul to the backstop. 2-2. To Hunter Tinsley. Nico Pedagorski right now showing a little bit of struggle on the mound. He's been in this game ever since the start as the beginning pitcher for Bishop Verot. Right now he's just been getting wild with his pitches. 2-2. To the sides, and we have a full count. And Nico Pedagorski, his hat comes off after every pitch. Like I said, it's the first time I've seen that happen here in Raider baseball at a game in Pringle Field, so it really is fascinating to me. He needs to glue down that hat as the payoff is on the way, and there's your ball. Runners around the corner for the Raiders as Hunter Tinsley takes the walk to first. Hardy still hanging over on third. And now we have a meeting on the mound. Out comes the coach. And looks like we may be playing some Jeopardy here, brought to you by your fellow public address announcer here at Pringle Field, and here it comes. It's a great sound. You hear some small chuckles from the audience. It really is nice to hear. Brings a little bit of laughing to the team. and the audience as we have this break in the action. So once again, let's remind you we are at the bottom of the third, another lengthy half of the inning. Anyhow, things have just now been getting good for the Raiders. They came into the inning down 2-0. They're able to score in Brendan McNabb from third off a wild pitch to make your score 2-1 Vikings. Meanwhile, you have Hardy now over on third. And it looks like Colton Seitz is now up at the plate.
Next batter for your Raiders, right fielder number 10, Colton Seitz.
Colton Seitz is up, and he's ready to go. Last time he got on the first base, you remember he got on off of an error, tries to charge at the ball, and it bounces right down, foul off of the strike plate. 0-1. One out at the bottom of the third. Raiders have a great, brilliant opportunity to tie up this game at 2 apiece. With Hardy over on third, and right now in the Bishop Verot bullpen, you have a pitcher warming up down there on the left field line. The throw home. Bouncer to second. This could be bad. It's a bouncer. Throw to second. He's out. Oh no, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm not going to protest. That second base umpire is a great view, and he thought the throw came in before the slide, and that runner is out. Really is disappointing. And that was Tinsley getting called out as he tried to slide in the second. Tyler Prell is on the way. So 2 outs here. Let's see if Prell can bring anything to the outfield to tie up this ball game. Throw to second. Seitz tries to steal and he's out. That's going to end your inning, and Prell's at bat is cut short. Raiders still down, but they do score a run. It's 2-1, Bishop Verot. 2-2. We had one coming from third.
And through 3 complete innings of play, your score stands. Bishop Verot 2, your Raiders 2.
Well, I didn't catch my eye there. Very nice, though. Raiders brought in the run from third. As a result, your score is tied up 2-2, ladies and gentlemen. Raiders come up big, scoring in a pair of runs. 4th inning we go, right after this. Devin White steps up into the batter's box as we enter your 4th inning of play between the Riverdale Raiders and the Bishop Verot Vikings in varsity baseball action. We are tied up at 2 apiece as the Raiders are able to come up big, scoring in a pair of runs to tie up this contest at the bottom of the third. Strike 1 on the way to White for his first pitch. The next one's low, but it's a missed swing there to make the count 0-2. Coming to White, Carson Palmquist up on the mound once again, still looking very calm up on the mound. Liner out to the shortstop and a beautiful catch for the out. Phenomenal dive on the way from Daniel Kaler at the shortstop. Charged right after it.
Next Viking batter, designated hitter number 1, Ivan Cotto.
You know, it's interesting. I think I just heard a fan hum the Sports Center tune. Ivan Cotto tries to check in once again as he'll open things up with a strike 1. The next one's low and away. Once again, tonight's game is the home opener of the regular season for the Raiders. The throw home is close, but the umpire signals it for a ball 2. And with tonight being the 2016 home opener for Riverdale, tonight's game represents Game 1 of a 11 contest that will be played at Pringle Field for the season. And a strike 2 will follow up to tie the count. Overall, it is Game 4 of 25 matchups that will take place in the 2016 regular season for the Raiders. The evened up deal is a swing and a miss for Ivan Cotto. A little bit of disappointment from him as he shows frustration walking back to the dugout.
Batting next for Bishop Verot, left fielder number 8, Carson Smith.
Carson Smith will follow up here with 2 outs. Carson Palmquist there with a little bit of a crazy pitch. Went off the chest protector of Tyler Prell for the ball. Back and forth action in this contest. At first you saw Bishop Verot put in a pair of runs earlier on, but the Raiders are able to come up with 2 more to tie up the game and get on the board as well, which happened just moments ago at the bottom of the 3rd. The pitch misses now for ball number 3. And now Tyler Prell comes up once again to Carson Palmquist. You have to wonder if this has to do with the signs once again. All throughout this ball game, you've seen Coach Bob Pringle really work hard for those 2, Carson Palmquist and Tyler Prell, to get down those signs. But it looks like they'll have a quick chat, and we're back and ready to go. Carson Smith. 3 balls, no strikes. Can he get the 4-pitch walk? No. This is inside low. 3-1. Bouncer to the shortstop. Kaler going over the first. Azevedo holds it in for the out. It's 3 up, 3 down. Home half of inning number 4 we go. And we're still tied up at 2 apiece on the Riverdale Raiders Radio Network.
For your Raiders, catcher number 7, Tyler Prell.
Tyler Prell walks his way up to the batter's box as we start our way into the home half of the 4th. You may hear some noise. That's from none other than the Raider dugout. We've been slowly mentioning them periodically from time to time throughout the course of this game, but they truly are an energetic bunch. Prell bounces up the middle, scooped up by the shortstop, throw the first, and the out. Great effort from Tyler Prell, but he can't convert off of the 6-3 putout.
Next up for your Raiders, left fielder number 8, Matisse Bober.
Matisse Bober is on his way up. Bober stands in tall, first pitch. It gets him. I believe that was right on the arm there. His right arm possibly, if I saw it right, but either way, he'll take his walk down first.
Now batting for your Raiders, pitcher number 14, Carson Palmquist.
Carson Palmquist now has a man on first to work with, along with 1 out. Palmquist struck out in his last at-bat swinging. Connects with the first pitch and nails it out of the ballpark, foul down left field. New pitcher on the mound for Bishop Verot. That's going to be number 14, Cade Milliton. Throwing off of the right hand. He's coming in for Nico Pedagorski, the starter. And you're going to see Carson Palmquist drive another one out of the play down left field. I'll start him off at 0-2. Militon looking over on first, turning his head, hurls it home. High fly ball out to center field, and it's going to be tracked down by Trevor Kramer out in center field for out number 2.
Batting next, first baseman number 3, Colin Azevedo.
Colin Azevedo is going to step his way into the left hand of the batter's box now with 2 outs and no men on. Here at the bottom of the 4th, it is 2-2 between the Raiders and Bishop Verot, and a game that has moved along at a pretty steady pace. Not too fast, not too slow anyhow. In my opinion, that's the way it should be, as he tries to find that ball but misses with a swing. 0-1. Check over the first base, and everything will be okay, as the runner is safe. This makes its way back to the backstop, past ball, and that runner, Matisse Bober, will trot his way over to second base. So Matisse Bober, he scoots his way back over to first off of that throw, as Militon was trying to check over on him, and the next pitch later, it goes wild over the head of the catcher, Michael Ritchie. That gives Bober more than enough time to scoot over the second. And the Raiders are in some good talks here with 2 outs. Everything's tied up, but scoring runner over on second. So if Colin Azevedo can get anything going, you've heard me say it plenty of times, and this could be good things for the Raiders. He signals for a bunt very quickly there and holds back, trying to throw off the game of Cade Militon. He holds back at the last second, and that'll make his count 2-1. Another one hits the dirt from Militon, now 3-1. You really have to admire how Colin Azevedo, he's not looking at anything silly. He really does know how to time everything up properly when he's in that batter's box. Good eye, and that'll cause him to make his way to first. Now runners on second and first.
Next batter, second baseman number 6, Brendan McNabb.
Brendan McNabb is on his way up. And his last at-bat, he was hit on the calf with a pitch. And now you have Coach Pringle coming out for the Raiders, and he's going to chat here with the home plate umpire. And it looks like we may have a pinch hitter coming in here. So Brendan McNabb's going to make his way back, and let's see who's up next. It looks like Coleman Rost. Coleman Rost.
Pitching for your Raiders. Now at bat number 16, Coleman Rost.
Okay, so up comes Coleman Rost to the plate. So here we go. He's coming in as a pinch hitter for Brendan McNabb. Yep, a little bit of a joke here. We have "you dropped the bomb on me" ready. That's because last season he was a home run hitter. If you're a pitcher and you fed him a fastball, well, you can kiss that ball goodbye, yeah. Strike one to Rost. Yeah, last season during our preseason contest, we had 2 of them. Coleman Rost hit 1 in both games, and even went yard in the regular season as well. 0-2 as a pitch is down the middle. So right now, Coleman Rost, he's set up, ready to go, so he does know how to connect the ball. He does so here And the fans are going to scurry out of the way as that is going to plummet its way towards the fan section. So Rosty's struggling earlier on. Coleman chant coming on the way from the Raider dugout. They really know how to fire up these fans, fire up the players out there. No doubt about it, like we said, they're awesome to be around when you're watching a baseball game. This comes down towards his feet for a ball. We're tied at 2 between the Raiders and Bishop Verot, and 2 men on. 2 outs to go along with it. Rost settles together. Right-handed swinger. Throw to second, and that runner is back in time. My goodness, a little bit of a scare there from Matisse Bober standing on second. Took him a second to see it because Cade Middleton, he was very sneaky. Whipped back towards second and fired it over, but Bober's back in time with a dive. Bringing it home, that's another ball to keep the inning alive.
Deuces wild.
Deuces are wild again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. A lot of 2s on the scoreboard. We've seen it happen so many times in the course of tonight. Maybe it's a little bit of luck for Coleman Rost. Timeout being called here by Rost as he steps out, takes a moment to himself, and steps back in. Here's a huge leadoff on first base by this runner. That is absolutely crazy. That's a swing and a miss, and that's going to do it. As we head into inning number 5, we're tied at 2 once again.
Top of the 5th inning. Right fielder number 9, Mike Lemmerman.
Mike Lemmerman, the right fielder, makes his way up to the plate as we enter inning number 5, tied at 2 apiece between the Raiders of Riverdale High School and the Bishop Verot Vikings. And this varsity baseball action. Pitch off to the edges from Parson Palmquist, is wide for a ball 1, and a strike 1 will follow up with a swing and a miss from Lumberman. Palmquist looks in, chopper over to Tinsley, bobbles, can he get it over the first in time? Yes! Azevedo, he got put in the splits there, as he is able to come up with the impressive putout. 5-3 in your scorebooks on Mike Lemmerman for out number 1.
Next batter for the Vikings, second base number 3, Gunnar Bird.
Gunnar Bird is going to follow up. Bird looks in with 1 out here. Just into inning number 5, 2-2 tie. Pop up on the infield, 3 men after it. Prell says he has control, and he comes up with the out. Tinsley, well, very interesting there. Tinsley not looking a little happy after that. Prell made the catch, fell backwards, and ran into Tinsley there for the out.
Next Bishop Verot batter, top of the order, number 2, Trevor Kramer.
Trevor Kramer will be your next batter.
And
he reached on base on 2 errors in this ball game. Now he's getting a signal over from third base. Meanwhile, you also have some warm-up pitches being thrown down right field line. And this is a little bit of a stoppage right now. You have the batter talking to the third base coach here for Bishop Verot. Meanwhile, warm-ups being thrown in the Raider bullpen down right field. So here we go. We're back and ready to go. Trevor Kramer, after getting a word from the third base coach, leans on in. Nice one right down the middle from Palmquist makes the count 0-1 to Kramer. The next one is up in the corners for a ball. Right now, it looks like we're waiting on an update from your boys varsity basketball game up in Bradenton against Lakewood Ranch. I believe we may be heading towards the end of that contest. Typically, basketball games are about an hour and a half. Game started at 7, 8:36 right now at Riverdale, so that game should be heading towards an end, and hopefully we can give you an update. It's now 2-2 after this is fouled off. Previously, he took a ball low. So, once again, 2s across the scoreboard. You really like how the Raider defense is. You really have to admire it. They really have been just getting business done. Carson Palmquist, he's 5 innings into the ball game, looking very in control of his game right now, and Raiders are just giving Bishop Verot a hard time when it comes to getting runners on board. This plummets into the dirt. Full count to Kramer. And this is going to be a ball and a walk for Trevor Kramer as he makes his way on. Up next, it's going to be Blaze Alexander.
Gotcha.
So it sounds like we have an
Next
update.
for the Vikings, number 21, Blaze Alexander.
From what I hear, the Raiders were defeated in boys basketball action, 57-44. But really disappointing loss there for the Raiders. Once again, a team that has worked very hard to secure that regional semifinal spot. And now, meanwhile, let's get back to the madness. This is out in right field down the first base line. And that's a double, now with runners on third and second. So Blaze Alexander hits the double, and Kramer slides into third base. Raiders in some danger right now as there's an infield meeting. Under Tinsley, Carson Palmquist, and Tyler Prell are in a little bit of a circle discussing things out. As up comes Michael Ritchie to the plate. Ritchie takes some practice swings.
Next batter for the Vikings, number 5, Mike Ritchie.
Ritchie, he's had a very nice ball game tonight. His first at-bat, that's when it all started with a triple to right center field, and he is 2 for 2 tonight, so great night. He also had a double later on in the ball game, so he's hoping to keep that good night going, and he has the go-ahead runner just 90 feet away, which is Trevor Kramer. Runner on second is Blaze Alexander. Prell, he's going to take a pitch down towards his knees for the ball 2. And Michael Ritchie, he's taking some practice swings outside to the batter's box, and they certainly are intimidating. He's swinging big, folks. He means business. He knows how to put it to the outfield. He showed right at the beginning of the ball game back in inning number 1. Palmquist sinks the next pitch. 3-0. If this is a 4-pitch walk coming up to Michael Ritchie, and was that a balk? He's now walking over to first. Coach Pringle's coming up to the mound. A little bit of confusion.
Wow, we have a break in the action.
We'll get that settled out for you in just a moment, folks.
We have a final score from the boys basketball regional semifinal. Your final score, Lakewood Ranch 57, your Raiders 44. Riverdale is eliminated from further state competition.
Well, that truly is disappointing. So I believe that just may have been a 4-pitch walk, possibly, because the throw was delivered outside. Right away, you had Ritchie going over to first base, so looks like we were a little off on the count. We apologize for that misunderstanding, but meanwhile, Michael Ritchie once again has the 4-pitch walk, trots over the first, bases loaded for Bishop Verot, and Coach Pringle just had a talk on the mound with Palmquist and Prell. And once again, you just heard that moments ago, the Riverdale boys varsity basketball team was defeated 57-44 in a disappointing loss. Still some confusion, a lot of standing around on the infield here for the Raiders defense.
Next batter for the Vikings, number 23, Nico Pedagorski.
Nico Pedagorski will be batting up next here for Bishop Verot.
Shut this guy down. Shut this guy down. We are
2 outs here at the top of the 5th. Bags are juiced for Bishop Verot, but your score is 2-2. Bishop Verot hoping to take their second lead of the ball game. Chop and a miss for strike 1. Looks like some more fans have gotten into the cheap seats out at center field. Looks like we have 4 out in left center field, 3 in right. Very small crowd, so you can just count them up as you look out there towards center field. Pitch misses for a ball, 1-1. 2 outs. Still some bullpen action going down right field for the Raiders. So it looks like the future of Palmquist on the mound is numbered. Puts it low again for a ball 2. So a lot of intensity here for the Riverdale Raiders. They are just 1 out away from getting out of this jam. It's a lot easier than it sounds, however. Of course, right now, bats getting hot for Bishop Verot. They're hoping to take their second lead of the ball game. Swing and a miss, and that's strike number 2. 2's across the scoreboard for Palmquist. A little bit of an intense environment going around here at Pringle Field. The deuce. High up, this is a pop-up. Can Prell find it in the dark? No, that hits the top of the foul netting again.
See now, if that netting wasn't there, that's a playable ball.
Yes. And we mentioned that earlier at the top of the safety netting for foul balls. There's a flat area up there, and many balls land there, and that's the second time tonight that's happened. If that were not there, that would have been a playable ball, and Prell would have at least had a chance to get that. So I guess you could say Bishop Verot saved by the net. Oh, out to left field. My goodness, that is deep. Is it inside? Yes. No, they dropped the ball. Gunnar Bird's going to score. Here's another runner. That's 21. A third one's coming in, and Bishop Verot is up by 3 points. RBI double. And oh my goodness, that was Nico Pedagorski. Trevor Kramer, Blaze Alexander, and Michael Ritchie all make their way in. Bases are now cleared up, but Pedagorski's on second. Kramer and Alexander cash in on their second run of the ball game for both of those players. And Devin White is up next. So this game is really flipped on its head now. Bishop Verot takes a 5-2 lead. And it makes you wonder, when is the end for Palmquist? Here's Prell up on the mound once again. It looks like Pringle is just going to keep him in until the end of the 5th inning and maybe switch him out for inning number 6, but
running out,
you never can tell.
Number 10, Charlie Hoyt.
Charlie Hoyton is going to be on second as a courtesy runner for Bishop Verot. Disappointing moment there for the Raiders. The pitcher, the starting pitcher for Bishop Verot at the start of the ball game, Nico Pedagorski, flies that ball out the left field all the way to the warning track. That was all off of an error as well, as I recall. It was out to the left fielder. Violent swing and a missed error from White for strike one. Well, out in left field, you had Matisse Bulber go after it. He dove for it on his knees out towards the warning track, right into the glove, but right back out. Change of momentum right there, folks. Outside pitch. Throw to second all the way from Tyler Prell, and that runner, Pedagorski, is back. End time with a dive. 1-1. Raider fan section getting a lot more quieter now out there. Bishop Verot fans, I'm sure they are very pleased at what they have just seen. Bishop Verot loaded up the bases, cleared them out with 3 runs coming. Once again from Trevor Kramer, Blaze Alexander, and Michael Ritchie, all off the bat of Nico Pedagorski. Now 1-2 to Devin White. And once again, Kramer and Alexander, they both have a pair of runs on the ball game tonight, so they certainly are a force to be reckoned with in tonight's ball game. Bringing it home, fly ball out the right field. Is it caught? Yes, they finally track it down and end the madness. Bottom of the 5th we go as that ball was caught up by Colton Seitz, and Bishop Verot is up by 3. 5-2 is your score.